to another episode of A Lady's Garden. It's been a while. It's been almost a month since my last video. I hope you guys have all been having a wonderful, safe summer. I hope you all have been doing well. I hope you all have been in your gardens, planting, planning, whatnot. In a community post, I mentioned that my youngest graduated high school, so I took some time with my family just to stop doing anything extra and just enjoy that moment with him, with my family. And now I'm back. It doesn't mean that I stopped in the garden. I kept going in the garden. I just didn't document everything in the garden. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for kind of sticking it out. And here we are. I'm going to give you guys a summer garden tour. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to try not to talk too much. There are some things that I did change. There are some plants that I did move. There are some things that I added. But as we go, if need be, then I'll just pop in and say something. We're going to start here. You guys remember these pots that I got, concrete pots. I did put some impatiens in them, and I really think they look cute. But here you go. The Auga definitely did spread. Have a couple of empty spots that I will be filling eventually with something. But they spread so much, I was able to take extra cuttings or extra divisions and kind of start to make a patchwork of Auga and hostas back here. It's so hard to plant back there. Added another soft touch holly. The Bobos are coming back. Super excited. And these in front are apricot drift roses. And these are Miss Lilac Super Bells. Pin cushions aren't in bloom anymore, but they did give me a very nice show. I did add a sweet little urn back there, just so I can plant some type of annual flower to give a little pop of color. This is the garden bed right as you come into the gate. Here are some zinnias that I started from seed. I let them grow on a little while in the container, and then I moved them over here. This is Veronica. Catnip. Those are the carex grasses. If you guys remembered, they were here originally. I moved them. They didn't like where I put them in the Mother Mary garden, and so I put them back, and they're quite happy. Here's the bench area. And I did grow sweet peas, and it did grow up the trellis. It wasn't as full. It was a beautiful pink color. And then it did what it did. And it stopped flowering once we hit our first heat wave, and it kind of got a little crispy. But I did enjoy it, and I will plant it again. Here is the circle garden, and it is not holding, or it's missing, the roses. I had to move the roses from the circle garden. They weren't very happy. But I did place them somewhere else. But the circle garden looks nice and clean. A good bit of space, not much to look at in there. I'm considering other options that can handle drier conditions. But I do like it a lot. I do like the circle garden. The hedge definitely formed this season, and I'm happy about that. So here are the evolution hydrangeas in these pots, which I probably will move come fall, God willing, because I do think it would be happier in the ground, even though it looks spectacular. When they first emerged with their flowers, it was a beautiful, brilliant white, and now it's starting to age to this pink. There's some lemon thyme, just happy as can be. Supertunia Vista bubblegum. The other evolution hydrangea. Drift roses. This one, it is in pink, I believe. Oh, the name escapes me, but I'll put it on the screen or in the description. Here are the other pincushions. All done blooming, just trying to keep them watered while we go through our long, hot days of summer. That little gold punch of color back there, that's actually golden oregano. And if I can show you, I attempted to make a wattle fence. I had a bunny that really favored this area of coming back and forth. He probably could come into any area underneath the fence, but I guess the soil was a little tight. Here, it's a little lower, so he was making his entrance and his exit from right here. So I made this. I don't think it worked, but I think it looks cute. Here's a spirea. I did get my hands on a Japanese forest grass. Another Atil Bee. I have boxwood back there. I have the autumn joy sedum, the plum pudding. So in this area, the plum pudding is getting a little sun, and I can see the leaves are turning. They're not holding that burgundy color. They're kind of turning a little green. Don't know if that is something caused by the sun or it's something caused by the aging of the plant throughout the seasons. So, but it's still pretty. There's a geranium. Another golden oregano. I have a couple more Auga. So this little guy over here is the chocolate chip. They run a little smaller than the burgundy glow. If you remembered in the last video, the one before the last, I mentioned about having something gold kind of on the edge, on the border of my shade garden. Well, I did go back, or I did go, and I found apple twist Huka. And this is apple twist heuchera. I didn't end up putting it as the border because it was just so intense. It felt better for me in my garden to sprinkle it around, but I did mix and match a couple plants for the border. Here's some more plum pudding, some more golden oregano, geranium, apple twist, geranium, 3 black scallop ajugas, another apple twist, golden oregano. You see the pattern here. And the shade garden came along really nicely. Backing up a little bit. Came along really nicely. I'm very happy with the shade garden. I'm very happy with all the gardens. It's just keeping him watered and well hydrated. That's the key. So the astilbes were great this year. You can see the spent flower bloom stalks, but they were. I had a little bit of drying out with the middle one here. And then behind that one, I did add a new one. It was actually one plant, and I divided it. And I believe is it deaf lace? Something of the sort. I'll make sure to put the name. I'm probably saying it incorrectly, pardon me. But it was pretty. I didn't find Dark Side of the Moon astilbe, so I saw this astilbe, and it did contrast with the astilbes in front and with the plants surrounding it, and I thought this will work. Go back here. We have some more plants, some more hostas, some more ground covers. The lamium that I moved this lamium a lot, and it's not as full as it was when it was in front, but it's doing all right. Something that I didn't share earlier, because this came in probably in May, was this hanging basket. I love this hanging basket. I do. It actually was a Mother's Day present. And I mixed light pink impatiens with the hot pink impatiens. The hot pink seems to be dominating, which is okay, because I do have the hot pink throughout the garden, just to bring like pops of color into the space. And what I also added were solar lights. So at night it looks just so magical out here. Now these were the solar lights that I mentioned a while back that I wanted to put around the patio. And then after some thought, after consulting with my family, because I do that often with the garden, even though, they say, oh Mom, you're going to do, what you want to do. And most likely I do, but I do take their opinions very seriously, and I value their opinions. And something they came up with, actually it was our youngest son, he said, why don't you just put it in a shade garden? Because my patio area is very small, and the string lights were a lot longer than I thought they would be, and to kind of play ring around Rosie and go round and round in that same pattern, which was, I was trying to create a square, it would have been a lot of lights in that one area. I know some people do it. I like it here better. And the one thing that we did do, it's because, it's a shade garden, so it's not going to catch the sun. The nice thing about these lights is that I can actually take this piece off. So you can see my setup here. But I can actually take off the solar panel itself, and I just set it in the sun, in a sunny spot, for about a day, and I must say it will keep the charge for about 3-4 days afterwards. So I feel like that is amazing. So now we are at the arbor entrance of the garden, which is where I consider the formal entrance of the garden. And the clematis that I had came back. It didn't come back with a lot of flowers, but nonetheless, it came back, which is exciting. As soon as I saw it coming back, I added a little trellis that I already had, for it to climb, and then I just kept trying to train it around in and out of the slats of the arbor. So I think it looks pretty nice. If we go this way, here is a Japanese maple tree. Here is the redbud, multi-trunk redbud. I actually had to move the Japanese anemone from the Mother Mary garden. They were getting scorched. So I put one here. Here is my hydrangea. That is just huge, which I am so in love with. And she does send up new blooms. She's blooming while she already has blooms, and you can see some spent blooms there. Here are some new buds forming. Here are some that are probably in their prime. And there are some spent blooms. Here are the black-eye Susans. Yes, I put them here. Because remember, last summer, I think around this time or a little later, I got black-eye Susans. Well, didn't want to waste anything, so I popped them here. So there's 3 of them with a geranium. And so that's fun. That's very fun. And if you look back here, I know I put small plants in the back of big plants, but I needed to get them in the ground. And I really didn't plan on moving them, so I just had to tuck them away somewhere where I know they'd probably be okay until if I reconfigure an area or I change it around again, at least I know they'll be okay here. The soil back here is pretty moist. This is that area. There's the balloon flower that I had moved. One didn't come back, but a couple didn't come back. But these are, this is 2 plants. They get pretty tall. They did get pretty tall. They could be stretching for the light. It's a mostly, I would say, bright shade in this area, but they're flowering, and I am happy I moved them. I think they look better over here. So now I will turn you guys around to my patio area. Here is the patio area. A lot has changed. Well, I wouldn't say changed. I guess I've added more to this area. There are the roses. There are the dahlias that I planted a month ago. Oh my goodness. They are huge, and I'm so excited to see the flower. So let's start with the dahlias first. Check that out. Yes, reminds me of like a jack and beanstalk kind of thing going on. And if I can get on top, you kind of see the bud up there. In this container, so after the winter sowing, I did get some flowers from the larkspur and the snapdragon. They didn't do as well as I thought they would. The larkspur gave me a beautiful flower. I don't think I'll do winter sowing again. I think I'll just stick to direct sowing or just sowing in containers. And something that did affect me this year that I haven't had a problem with are slugs. So I did start the zinnia seeds in Grace's garden, where you saw those zinnias. They actually started in this container, and as you can see, I have like little holes and bitten leaves, and I I really wasn't sure what was happening until I came out and I saw the slug. And so now I know slugs will be a little bit of a, you know, an issue. Maybe this year, maybe not next year, who knows. But I ended up moving those zinnias, and then I started to replant some more, and the same thing kept happening. So then I ended up planting 6 lemon basils. I know, kind of late in the season, but I ended up planting 6 lemon basils and 3 zinnias, and we'll see what happens with those. And I already started some more, and I'm just going to pop them around the garden. So I think this may work for me, where I just start them in these in the summertime, and then move them as I see fit around my garden. The ones here, they're actually sunflowers. So I'm going to see if I can get them to germinate, and then I have an idea of where I want to put them. But anyway, so here is the other container. And check out that beautiful juicy bud. Won't focus. There we go. Super excited, super excited. I did add a umbrella to my patio area, which I really like. So we can come out here, and I'm making a point of just relaxing in the garden, do all this work, and we don't ever sit in the garden. So that's something that I want to change. I want to come out and sit in the garden, have a nice glass of raspberry tea, and open that umbrella up and just enjoy. So I planted, again, this is a plant I had already, the creeping thyme. It actually started off in the Grace's garden where the hydrangea tree was. I moved it to the Mother Mary garden, and then it ended up here. The alliums, I believe serendipity, I'm not sure, but these alliums I had for a long time, and they got moved several times, and now they ended up here because I moved them out of the Mother Mary garden, and I put them here instead. Remember, I had the roses here, the apricot roses, so they switched positions, and there were 3. There was actually 1. I remember when I bought it. It was summertime, a couple years ago, probably over 4 years ago, and it was just 1 plant, and I divided it up into 3 plants, and I was able to maintain the 3 plants, but the 3rd plant gave me 3 new plants here. And then the roses are here now. And I think it will be a better spot because the moisture level in this garden on this side is very moist, because I do have a downspout right there. But in general, I noticed it's very moist out here. So I hope they'll get established. I did my best to get the biggest root ball I possibly could, and pop them in. They look a little, they're a little rough, but I have faith they will bounce back, and hopefully, God willing, next year this time, or as soon as they transition, or as soon as I get a bloom, I'll be out here sharing with you guys, look, I got a bloom. And the spectacular thing is, now I sit right there, that I will be able to enjoy the fragrance. If you remember, I had 2 of the same kind. It wasn't 4 complete same varieties, so I just bookend. I think this one is the lighter pink on either side, and then the deeper pinks are in the middle. And I will put the names on the screen as well. So that's the garden. That's the garden tour. I do have some ideas of what I want to put in the circle garden. I don't know if I want to do it this year, but I did see the plants this year. I was thinking a Russian sage or whirling butterflies Gora. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I guess I'm not in a rush to put anything there. It does look nice, kind of just to give your eye rest there, because I do have a lot going on everywhere else. But hey, what are you going to do? It's your garden, right? but I am thankful for my garden, and I am thankful that you guys took time to spend some time with me in the garden this morning. I hope you all are having a wonderful summer, a wonderful, safe summer. Thank you for always watching. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your kind comments. I will see you guys in the next video. Happy gardening, fellow gardeners. Bye.